All right, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? It's Quinones here. It's a Wednesday edition of Q's Cuts. Don't forget, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch me right here on AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio with Back Your Play from 4 to 6 p.m. Always get social with me at Rich Q on Q. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll go live at 4. But I wanted to give a little focus and attention to tonight's game 2 between the Philadelphia 76ers and Miami Heat. Obviously, the Philadelphia 76ers losing game 1 to open up their series. No Joel Embiid again tonight. No Lowry for Miami. But Miami not only covers the number in the opener, 106.92. They laid 8. It's 8.5 tonight. As I mentioned, no Embiid. I'm kind of where I want to go today is I'm kind of over the James Harden thing, right? Because if it's easy at this point, if we're ready to just continue, or we want to continue making James Harden a scapegoat, so be it. You know, we can only get on Doc for so long, where if they get bounced in this series, who knows what the future has in store for Doc Rivers. Again, with some of these lineups, I can't freaking figure it out, to be quite honest with you. But I'll say this. If you look at the Philadelphia 76ers, if they want to make this a series without the big man out on the floor, and I'm not talking about Jordan, who's just god-awful with a minus 22. I can't figure that out. Doc needs to go small. Get your athletic guys on the floor. Take the ball out of James Harden's hand, by the way. Listen, we're past this point right now. Maxey, Harris, let Maxey create a little bit. Harris had a big game in the opener, 27 points. I'm looking right at it, 11 of 18 from the floor. As far as what the rest of the squad did, 6 of 34 from beyond the arc. I mean, come on. You're up by 1 at the half. Miami goes on this run. We know the NBA is a make or miss league, but 6 of 34. Miami didn't shoot any particularly better from beyond the arc, but be that as it may, they got a ton of production. They got production off their bench, which was a big one as well with Hero, who had the monster game. But, I'm just looking right now. You got to get more from the Danny Greens of the world. You got to get more from Maxey. Maxey had the 19, but he was 5 of 15, 6 of 15, pardon me. He really didn't contribute in the fashion that you wanted him. Here's a young player that exploded. We saw that in this series against the Toronto Raptors, right? Everyone was basically getting ready to put his jersey in the rafters. So it's got to be on other players, and Doc's got to recognize it. You can't go big anymore. You can't against this lineup. You need to basically get one win in hopes maybe you can get an Embiid back by, let's say, a game 4. Even if you're down 2-1, there's an semblance of hope. But if they lose tonight, and I do believe they will, and I'm not sure Miami covers that number, 8.5, but if the Sixers lose tonight, they might get swept. I mean, that's how bad it can get. Now, it's unfortunate with the injury with Embiid, but with that being said, this is really more about enough with the James Harden. He is who he is, right? He's exactly who we thought he was, and he's not that player anymore. He's too content with the facilitating. You're not going to get that 36-point explosion from James Harden. Other players have to step up. And as I mentioned, 6 of 34 from beyond the arc. And some of these looks were clean. They weren't contested shots. You got to be able to knock some of these home, make it a contest, weather that early storm, get to the half, get to the locker room. If you're lucky, you have a lead. If you're down a couple, that's fine. We saw it the other night. Do not allow Miami to get in rhythm. Do not allow Miami to get those transitional buckets. Do not allow Miami to just basically dominate again on the boards. I mean, I pulled this up the other day. I was looking at it. Miami out-rebounded the 76ers 47-37. Now, obviously, you don't have the big man, but I can't for the life of me. If you want to give Reed a couple more minutes, the lineup when he had Niang out there, also with Korkmaz and Jordan. I mean, my goodness, Doc Rivers, help these guys out, please. Help these guys out. So the adjustments go small. Get a lot of perimeter shooters out there, get a little more athleticism, so to speak. Then if you want Harden to facilitate, create, and dish, that's fine. But I kind of said this last week. The days of James Harden with those 36, 37, 30-point, 38-point outbursts, it's not happening anymore. So move past James Harden. Other players now have to step up in the absence of the big man. All right, we'll get into a lot more of this inside the 4 o'clock hour to open up the show. We'll also recap all the action last night in the NBA as well. So we'll get into everything else that's happening in the world of sports. We'll also dive into a little baseball, red hot Yankees. How about that? And the Phillies are, again, this is what we expected, is it not? Right? I mean, it's the same old freaking Phillies, and we'll talk a little NFL draft. We'll talk to you at 4, and I hope you enjoyed a Wednesday's edition of Q's Cuts. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Rich Q on Q.